Good morning, warriors. Welcome to the U Movement. I am B. And as you can see, I'm just sitting outside doing some grounding and getting some healing from the sun. And I wanted to hop on because this morning I woke up to a very lovely message left to me from one of my viewers, and explaining to me how my videos had helped them, not only my videos, but my videos and my writing over on Facebook had helped them get themselves out of a toxic relationship. They further went on to explain that this toxic relationship is what they identified as their twin flame relationship. So first, wow, thank you. The fact that my videos are helping people escape from these types of situations means it's all kinds of worthwhile. It really confirms to me that what I'm doing has a purpose in the world and it will help others. So thank you very much for that message. I really, really appreciate it. As well, I wanted to talk a little bit about, because it's been what's been circling my mind through this last few days, and I've touched on it a little bit. Yesterday, the last 2 days, I've done a couple of videos that are kind of skirting around the issue. It kind of feels like a labyrinth. Where you're getting closer and closer and closer into the source, and that's where you need to go to transmute the shadow, and then you work your way back out again. I don't know if you've ever had the privilege of walking a labyrinth, but they're fantastic. So on my channel, as you know, I've done a lot of videos on escaping from narcissistic energy, as well as a lot of videos on spirituality and a lot of videos on the twin flame journey. So I wanted to kind of bring all three of those together, because there is a lot that I've been observing and seeing in my own investigations into what is happening to me that I want to talk about. So, let's expose a little bit more light to some darkness is the way that I'm viewing it. And there's a lot of things that we are told, when you wake up to the reality, or maybe you're not on a twin flame journey, but you're searching for one. I often see people say, where can I find my twin flame? My advice is don't. Don't do that. Or how can I awaken my Kundalini? And again, my advice is don't do that. Don't go seeking out something that you don't fully understand how profound an impact it will have on your life in its difficultness. It's not, neither of those is something that my mind would have consciously chosen. Soul, on the other hand, made the decision for me, and I'm following what is in my soul contract. So I view it as, before I came down to this planet as a starseed or a light worker, I was sitting around in a bar up in space there in the cosmos, drinking all this cosmic mead and laughing with a bunch of other souls, and we dared each other when we were drunk to come down here and be human, and take on this mission of getting planted deep into the dark, experiencing abuse, experiencing bullying, experiencing assaults, experiencing one horrible situation after another, and all the while keeping our little light kind of going inside of us, and walking through hell to transmute and eventually get ourselves into the light and heal. And it's been a brutal experience, this path. So my Kundalini has been fraught with difficulties, as one after another, I've had to relive all of those miserable experiences that I've had in my life, that I had so conveniently shoved deep down into my fat suit that I used to wear, that with lots of internal pockets to store all of these traumatic events. And it's like zip files that were compressed. All these traumas that lived inside of me were compressed zip files. And through this Kundalini awakening, each of those files expanded first, and then transmuted through a lot of physical pain, emotional turmoil, reliving one experience after another, as my body would shake and the tears would come and the purging began. The twin flame journey, or Kundalini awakening, is a purification process, a purification of all this shit that you didn't want to deal with. That you used any number of coping mechanisms to keep repressed. Those can be on the physical, alcohol, drugs, pharmaceuticals. Those can be in the distraction category, going to the gym excessively, becoming a workaholic, excessive buying and shopping, hoarding. Any of those types of things. Those could have been in behaviors and thought patterns that I discussed yesterday that may have manifested as in lying, gaslighting, general narcissistic characteristics, manipulation and gaslighting to get needs met, and so on. The list goes on and on and on and on how people cope with the trauma, cope with the pain. All of these things that we do and how we behave and how we think are in response to trauma, to shitty things happening, and us desperately attempting to get out of suffering. And what we learn on the awakening path is the only way out of suffering is through the suffering, is re-experiencing the suffering, and in so doing, what is happening is multiple. One, we are purging our bodies, our minds, our emotions, our spiritual auric field. We're purging, and there's only so many ways one can purge. So that can come out as physical symptoms and releases. We purge through our nostrils, through our mouths. You may get physically ill. I vomited multiple times on this awakening. Sweat and or urine, defecation, tears. Oh my God, the tears. Well, that's how the body purifies itself. It's like being put into a deep wash cycle, and it's going to spin things and come out. So they have to come out somehow, energetically speaking. And as well as that, another benefit, I suppose, of this process is that in releasing the wounds inside of each of the shadows, inside of each of the dark memories, it is a tiny little gift. And what that gift is a lost aspect of yourself. So if you want to look at it like we were born whole, we came down with a whole soul, and whether you consider yourself a twin or not, because both twins are whole, they're individually whole, they're of the same essence and same soul frequency, but it's not like a division or you're only half a person. So first, let's throw that nonsensical theory out the window that you're only half and they're your other half. Okay, you are whole, they are whole, and you resonate in the same wholeness. So I want to address a lot of mistruths on this video. So that's the first mistruth, is thinking that they're your other half. Okay, because that implies that you're only half a person. And you're not half a person, you're a whole person with fractured aspects of self. And what does that mean? That means that when you were a child, and everyone on the planet, there's no one that can escape this life, this human existence, without some degree of trauma, whether that be small t trauma or big T trauma. Small t traumas being, failing a math test at school, falling off your bicycle, fear of spiders. Big T traumas, sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, psychological abuse, emotional abuse, neglect, being raised in an alcoholic family, being raised in poverty, being raised in a war-torn country, being raised with tremendous generational traumas, being raised with tremendous cultural traumas, being Native American or First Nations people would have a huge cultural trauma. Being raised Black would have a huge cultural trauma. Being raised Jewish would have a huge cultural trauma that's been passed on generation to generation. Within the generations, there's trauma. You could have been a long-standing history of going through an impoverished peoples in your family, and within that there was rampant alcoholism is how your family chose to cope with said traumas, and so that was passed down with neglect and passed down with not being able to show up for you in the way that you needed, in extreme emotional neglect or shutting down or raging at. So traumas. There's just a world full of traumas. And so everybody has got traumas, and everybody's desperately trying to cope with their traumas. So what those traumas, in a sense, do is they take this whole aspect of soul, and each time there's a trauma, there's a tiny little bit of you fractured off that goes into the ether, that goes into a place of hiding to be safe. Because this is too extreme a situation, when my pants were pulled down and I was spanked to the point of having handprints and welts on my butt. That was too much for my young little body to be able to handle, and my young little emotions. So I learned to disassociate and learn to push that pain away into no man's land. And so soul kept it safe behind an electric fence somewhere, so I never had to deal with it or face it. But that was a fractured aspect of self. And so we go through life with one fracture after another fracture after another fracture after another fracture. And all of these fractures means that we are showing up in the world in a less than version of our true wholeness, our true soul. We're disempowered. We have to fill those fractures with polyphila, so to speak. We're filling them with addictions. We're filling them with distractions. We're filling them with denials. We're filling them with bad behaviors. We're filling them with narcissistic attributes, perhaps. We're filling them with complex post-traumatic stress disorder responses. All of these things are filling up all those lost aspects of self. And then when we boom, have this twin flame soul recognition, it sets in motion, or you have a Kundalini. So Kundalinis can come about multiple ways. One can be a twin flame situationship. One can be an extreme crisis, a health crisis, a breakdown of relationship, a near body experience, an out of body experience, loss of job, loss of family, loss of things that you hold dear. And so something dramatic comes along and sets in motion as a catalyst this processes of purification as well as reintegration of self. So in each of these things that we release, all of these zip files that now open up, and we have to process through the emotions, the knowledge, the awareness, we have to process through all of that. What we are doing is bringing home each time a single lost aspect of self. This is what the shamans around the world know as soul retrieval. So all your inner children, your wounded child, your abandoned child, your orphaned child, your traumatized child, your wounded teenager, your wounded adult, all of these little fractures begin to come as we unzip the file. So we're no longer ignoring it. We're no longer repressing it, denying it, debilitating it, depressing it into our bodies, down, 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 which is what depression is. Depress, 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 and numb out, numb out, numb out. So we stop numbing out, we stop depressing, and these zip files open up, often coming with a lot of aches and pains, which is why I've done lots of videos on trigger point therapy, has been a saving grace for me. And it's like little things literally bubble to the surface in your body, and those can bubble to the surface, as I said, in aches and pains, in flus coming out, in other symptoms, new sensitivities, all kinds of things that are helping redirect you to help you clear it out. So, you know, when you're having a cold, blow your nose and say, thank God, good riddance, thanks, I don't need you anymore, I'm letting you go. And this process of purification is also a process of reintegration, of reintegrating all of those lost aspects of self so that we can become whole again. Now, this process is brutal. It's not easy. If it was easy, we would have all done it by now. You know, humanity is particularly ingenious in finding 101 ways to not do this. If you think about it, our entire society is set up to help us not do this work. It's, you know, through foods, we're going to soothe, and sugars, and everything we put into our mouths, cigarettes, alcohol, caffeine, pharmaceuticals. Let's all keep all of that stuff that we don't want to look at repressed. And humanity will stop at nothing, no matter how insane it is, to not feel. And that includes toxic thinking number 2 I want to address, because as you're on this awakening process, you seek answers. You're looking desperately for answers and for help and for guidance on this path. And so you may be pulled into spirituality. Maybe you've been in spirituality for a number of years, maybe not. Maybe you're just starting now to like go down this path. And what you're going to be hit with is a lot of poppycock. And I'm calling out the poppycock because it's damaging and dangerous for people who are on an actual awakening path. And what I'm talking about is high vibes only. And you don't want to get, your mindset is going to manifest your reality. So people get, oh my God, I can't have grief, I can't have anger, I'm going to attract more grief and anger into my life. And if I'm not in high vibes, then I'm doing something wrong. Well, talk about shaming. That's only going to contribute more to debilitating, slowing down, and causing a blockage of what the energy is trying to do. And the energy is trying to purge out all the stuff that you're desperately trying to hold on to, or master your mind by having positive thoughts only. That's well and good, and I'm not saying that manifestation is wrong, but in an awakening process, you need to work yourself into that mindset, so that mindset is a place of authenticity, not a place of delusion. Because if you're just, oh, high vibes only, and I'm not going to address any of my shadow aspects of self, what you resist persists. And so you're going to look around and wonder, why do I keep manifesting things I don't want to manifest in my life? That's because you're supposed to, the universe is going to keep throwing at you stuff until you sit down and sit in your emotion, until you say, okay, wait a second, I'm not doing something right. Before you get to law of attraction, you have to get to the law of purification and law of allowing yourself to process through the emotions so that you can naturally get to a place of high vibes. High vibes is not something you can bypass to. There's no elevator, there's no way around, you can't dig under, you can't go over. You can try to take as many spiritual plant medicines as you want, but at the end of the day, until you sit with this stuff and feel it and incorporate it, what you're actually doing is denying yourself the opportunity of that golden piece of treasure to bring home that wounded aspect of self. And so it's through the processes of learning how to reparent, reprogram, show yourself compassion, which is the teachings of Buddha, which is what Buddha has been trying to tell us for thousands of years, which is the teachings of Jesus, what Jesus has been trying to tell us for thousands of years, is we need to treat ourselves with love and kindness and care and compassion and realness. So if you're hitting blockade number 2, which is the high vibes only and mindset to manifest limitations, understand that that is a plateau that I think is built in to the program. You're ascending your ego as you go along this process. It's a little bit of ego death and letting go of some wounds, a little bit more conscious awareness as you integrate new things into you, and it's a staircase as you're working your way up. And one of the layers on this staircase is spiritual ego. Thinking, I'm educated, I know about the chakra system, I have these tools and techniques, I know I'm ascending and I'm so high vibe, so why am I still smoking, and why am I still in this toxic relationship? So why am I? Take a long, hard look at yourself if that's the situation. If things are not truly in alignment, you are in a place of spiritual ego. And I 100% put my hand up. I was there. I think everyone has to go through that stage before they can ascend onto the next one to realize, hey, wait a second here. On this staircase, I don't know it all. And it's learning to be humble, and it's learning to let go, and it's learning to let God, and it's learning to have faith, and it's learning all of these lessons. The staircase is a staircase of continual lessons, of continual letting go of old thought patterns, all old ways of being, through the processes of feeling your feelings. You have to feel them, as shitty as they are. They are shitty. You have to feel the grief. You have to feel the anger. You have to feel the fear. And you have to keep going through it and give yourself what you would need. A very useful NLP technique, if you are struggling with feeling your feelings, is visualize your child. Okay, whether you have one or not, it doesn't matter. Visualize if you had a child or when your child was a certain age, and ask yourself this question: what would I say or do to my child if they were coming to me with this issue? If they were feeling grief, if they were feeling fear, if they were feeling sad, if they were feeling whatever, what would I say to them and what would I do to them? And do that to you. Comfort yourself, hold yourself, put on soothing music, give yourself a salt bath, go out into the garden, ground, listen to soothing music, whatever it is that you need, and if it's energies on the fiery side, light a fire, dance around the fire, write a hate mail, burn it in the fire. I have done a lot of healing techniques that could potentially be useful for you, but depending on what chakra is purging and healing, there is a chakra playlist. And that is over 8 hours of content. Each video, root chakra, sacral chakra, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, is about an hour and a half in length. And at the end of each one, if you just want to skip to the end and you don't want to listen to any of the beginning, there's the end half hour is all of the healing tools and techniques that you could potentially use for that particular chakra to help assist you in transmuting whatever is coming up. The third thing that I want to call out and shine a light on is the notion that you need to receive help outside of yourself. And I also learned this lesson the hard way in thinking I needed to go to any number of experts to help heal me on this awakening path. And more, the lesson became abundantly clear as money was flying out the door, is that you are your own guru. You are your own healer. You are your own path to knowledge. Only you know you. You are an expert of you. You have the intuitive knowings that no one else has. You have the internal sensations that no one else has. You know what you need. If you sit with yourself and say, in any given moment of the day, what is it I need most right now? You will get the answer. I need rest. I need to eat some food. I need to go sit in the sunlight. So listen to yourself and don't negate yourself, because one of the things that I learned in the hard way is in seeking help outside of yourself, I was not privy before to the awareness of such a thing. Now, I talk on my channel a lot about narcissism. One aspect of narcissism I never knew before, which I'm going to share with you now, is that of the communal narcissist. Now, the communal, I always knew that narcissists were particularly nice people. You know, if people met my ex, they would think he was one of the nicest people in the world, because he showed up in an energy of, I'm doing this favor for this neighbor, I'm mowing your lawn, I'm shoveling this person's drive, this elderly person, I'm being so nice and doing this and that. And that is a technique that covert narcissists use. And you will find a lot of covert, aka communal narcissists in healing communities. And that's because what better place to find supply than a room full of wounded individuals desperately seeking help and assistance. And so buyer beware when you go out and you seek help outside of yourself and you're parting with your hard-earned cash and money. Not everyone has your best intentions at heart. Just because they wear long flowy skirts and have all the right words and carry with them crystals and maybe do volunteer work on Sundays, be aware that there are a grouping of these people that want to make themselves look good, because in looking good, you know, then what they have is a following of people, and they're not empowering you into your own health and wellness. They're disempowering you if they're saying, I need you to keep coming to me week after week after week so you can keep going over the same thing week after week after week so I can feed on you. So in a sense, I can feel good about myself, keeping you in a state of locked in and supply. So that's a scary thought, to think that, hey, here I am in the spiritual world, in the spiritual community, and I'm going out and I'm seeking help, and these people are making me feel bad about myself. They're telling me I should be high vibe only, and I'm doing something wrong, and maybe I'm manifesting this because my thoughts are not correct. You know, these types of messages are very disempowering. They keep you searching outside of yourself for more and more answers when the answers are all inside of you. The empowerment is inside of you. A Kundalini process is a purification so that you can reconnect with your own power, get back into alignment with your own energetic system, so that you intuitively know what you need and you trust in that. You trust in that. You trust in the guidance that you receive from Spirit that is directly given to you through your crown. You trust the knowledge that your heart has to share with you. You trust your gut instincts. So if trust has been an issue because you've been raised in an environment when you were young that was narcissistic, then you are going to go out seeking help outside of yourself. So if you are healing by counsel, by a large council, what do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? How do you feel about this? That's a flag that's your own trust in self is disabilitated, that you don't have the ability. Ground yourself, be with yourself. This is why we are secluded and put into isolation and put into hermit mode, so we can train as warriors and be in our own energy and learn how to manage our own energy and learn how to clear our own energy, shield our own energy, protect our own energy, and work with our own energy and work with our own gifts. There's a reason for all of this, but it's not easy. So yes, be aware that there are many out there that just because they can smile and look a certain way does not mean that they are going to be guiding you towards your own health and wellness. Follow the money. Follow the money is a good way to keep yourself apprised. And now, that's not saying all out there aren't in good intentions. There are many that are providing you with free information because they actually care about your health and well-being. From your body's point of view, if you don't know the teachings of Human Garage, go follow Human Garage. They give you all of these tools and techniques to do fascial release and maneuvers to help assist you heal you. All the YouTubers that are available giving you free content are there because they care about you. And there's everything from psychological guidance to spiritual guidance to yoga classes that you can take, all free here on YouTube. So keep your eyes open to this because it is a dangerous pitfall that you could find yourself as you're trying to seek yourself out of suffering. The next thing I wanted to talk a little bit is the dangers of the twin flame community and the toxicity that lies there within. And there is a lot. And I also understand I've fallen down some of those pit holes before, spending money on things that would bring me to union. And again, it's a money grab. The twin flame journey is not a romance. It is not, whether it has the potential for that in 10 years time, 20 years time, this lifetime, next lifetime, is really quite irrelevant. The question that has to be is, what is? What is now? What is now? Because if what is now is a relationship that is toxic, then that is showing you that you have healing work to do so that you can bring yourself back into a place of wholeness. But people get into their mind's eye that this is my twin flame, and therefore I have to love them unconditionally. And listen, yes, you can't shut down the heart, but what you can do is move your body and move your emotions and move your mind out of the way of toxic behaviors. Unconditional love does not mean tolerate toxicity. Okay? It does not. It is learning to unconditionally love self first, so that you can place yourself into a shield of protection and a shield of care and understanding what it is you deserve. And I know more than anyone, I thought I was trash. I thought I deserved breadcrumbs. I thought I deserved silence. I thought silence was a love language, because that's how I was raised. I thought abuse was a love language. And so in this journey, we have to face our own shadow sides of self so that we are not attracting and accepting and tolerating toxic behaviors. I don't care if they're your twin flame, your soulmate, your other half. Tolerating abuse is not going to cure the abuse. It's not. You cannot save them, you cannot cure them, you cannot heal them. You didn't cause it, you cannot cure it, you cannot control it. But you can control you, and you can control that you are at a safe distance so that you can do your own healing work and create healthy boundaries, because this constant quest to be with somebody that isn't showing up in an energy that is kind, caring, compassionate, loving, giving, and the list goes on. Please feel free to go check out my video I did a couple days ago on what it is you actually deserve, because the list is extenuous of what you deserve, and if you're not getting those things, then I can guarantee you're not giving yourself those things. And that's hard to face. It's hard to face when we're searching outside of ourselves for something that we ourselves have to learn to give ourselves. And listen, I understand learning to love the fuck out of yourself. Where do you even begin? Well, you begin in every single moment. What do I need right now? What is right now? Not what I want, not what I wish it was, not what it could be. Those are going to keep you bouncing back and forth from feeling depressed to feeling anxious to feeling not here. And we have to learn, one of the main lessons on this journey is learning to be in presence. So learning to be in presence means what is now. And listen, I've gone 3 years thinking, oh, why does it have to be like this? Why couldn't it be like something else? The answers to those questions are not in my pay grade. I have to let go of it. It is what it is. And listen, that expression can irritate a lot of the shadow inside of yourself. But as long as you're not accepting what is, you're in disharmony. Being in flow with the divine and accepting and letting go that whatever will happen when it happens, and there's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is be here right now. So what is it right now? What is it? Is it hurtful? Is it disrespectful? Is it cruel? If it's those things, then exit stage left and go be with self and give yourself more time, more love, more compassion, more care, and clear out all of those things that are inside of you that are saying, hey, somehow something in me is saying that this is acceptable and I should tolerate it. And why is that? Because that's the work. That's the work. The work is an inner job. The whole process is an inner job. So whether you resonate with Twin Flame or resonate that you're onto Kundalini, understand that this is about addressing your own shadow aspects of self and sitting in the feelings, feeling it to heal it, feeling the grief, feeling the loneliness, feeling the isolation, feeling the anger, feeling the frustration, feeling all of those things. If you haven't seen my spiral of all the emotions that you need to go through before you get into even neutrality or inner peace or love or bliss or joy, all of those you have to clear out. So this is like the big clear out. We're clearing out stuff on the body, we're clearing out stuff on the emotions, we're clearing out stuff on the mind, we're clearing out stuff on the soul, and we're retrieving all of the wounded aspects of self back into wholeness. And that wholeness is, understanding that I am comprised of wounds and healings, and I am comprised of shadows and lights, and I am comprised of imperfections and perfections. I am comprised of, my life is comprised of gifts and sufferings, and it's a constant flow and it's a constant cycle. So we volunteered for this job. Okay, that's why I call us warriors. This is warrior work. There's nothing shy of warrior work, to sit and feel and process and transmute and alchemize, whatever words you want to do, and become empowered as a whole being within self. You signed up for this mission. You must have been up there with me in the cosmos, drinking that cosmic mead, going, yeah, I'm going to volunteer to go down to humanity and be a light worker. I'm going to do this because, I'm SEAL team. So that's what you guys are. You guys are the spiritual SEAL team. And the spiritual SEAL team means we need to feel it to heal it. It means we need to go into ourselves and be our own hero, be our own guru, be our own teacher, be our own parent, be our own anything cheerleader. And we need to become self-empowered as a individually contained solitary unit of light. And that is how you be a light worker, is you be. By you doing the work, you are standing into your authenticity. You are shining and illuminating a light on all of the stuff that doesn't resonate. And you're saying, yeah, no, I'm going to be me. I'm going to just show up in the world and listen to my divine guidance and go the direction that is right for me. If you need help on this insane journey that is the twin flame journey, and you're tired of going in circles over and over again, being fed a whole bunch of nonsense, please feel free to reach out and book a one-on-one Zoom call with me. The way to do that will be in the description below. Otherwise, you can email me at justbebeing@gmail.com, or you can get in touch with me via direct messenger on Facebook. My handle is BeFreedom. That's BEE as in the Bumble. And I would love to assist you, and I can listen and help you let go of toxic behaviors, toxic thinking, toxic actions, toxic relationships, toxicity. We have to get rid of it so that we can be high vibe. We want to actually be it, not just say it, not just pretend. We want to actually be it. So I would love to work with you. All of my services are donation based. I don't want to put anyone in a difficult financial situation. Or if you would just prefer to have spirit talk to you and I can pull some cards for you and do a half-hour video, we can do that as well. Or if you would like some distance healing, I can do that. But really, I think you can heal yourself. Honest to God, I think you can. But I do have the capacity to do that. I am trained. So there's my messages for today. I'm sending all of you my love, my compassion, my support. And if you want to join the Spiritual Warrior Support Group, the way to do that is in the description below. If you are wanting to leave me a comment, a question, a like, a share, hey, I love all of those. The channel is growing every single day, and the feedback I'm getting is like amazeballs. I am so delighted to be able to shine a light for other light workers out there that are still fumbling around a little bit in the dark, trying to get their own light lit and moving in the right direction. Peace out.